Inferno, the second map of the series, and Spirit Academy needing to make a vastly different impression with their CT side here. Starting at least CT side Inferno to maybe get a little bit of that momentum back. Because something sure needs to change compared to map 1, dude.
Yeah, I'm not so sure starting on the CT is going to be a massive help, though. SAW will have the chance to set the pace here, and certainly a scary position to be in. And SAW also heavily T-sided on this map. As I say that, though, Artfrost with 4 kills as he comes through the apartments. What the hell? Roman pulled back 1, but that is all he's allowed. It's all headshots from Artfrost, the upper. Might even be the ace still to come as he takes that final fight, and there you go, spams it down. It's not the headshot. Disappointing, Artfrost, I joke. Good ace, though, and a big opportunity for Spirit Academy now as they take the pistol round here on Inferno. SAW are heavily T-sided, as I was trying to get into a moment ago, like 65% of their rounds on the T side. On the other hand, Spirit Academy, they're pretty much 50-50 split down the middle.
Certainly does open up the possibility. Force buy will come in, even without that bomb plant going down. It's Tech9's and Util. And a heavy-handed play up Banana to start things off. UJerks opening the account with a spammy Tech9. Has managed to take the first scalp, and this is not the best of buys in the world to try and come up against this with. Sotfik finds himself with just a P250. One rifle in the hand of Zontix. Spirit Academy, they wanted to play heavily into the SMGs. They wanted to farm up some cash, and it does leave them just a little bit vulnerable up against this kind of a buy. Roman trading with the recovered FABAS brings it into a 3-on-3, but a lovely little timing from Sotfik almost nets the double. Instead, it's just 1 kill, and that leaves Zontic on 14 HP with a huge decision to make. He's thinking about it. He faces the smoke. He'll only get 1. ArasDos, the headshot not necessarily required, but found nonetheless as he barges into a 1v1. Artfrost has a lot of advantages to play with, though. More health, good utility. It's not a great plant either for ArasDos. He's considering all possibilities, but it leaves him vulnerable to a timing, and oh my goodness, they pass just about. ArasDos now on a single point of health, has to swing it down. And it will be the recovery from Artfrost. It will be the second round. It is hugely expensive from the Spirit Academy, though. And with the bomb going down on top of that, SAW might be wanting to risk it again.
Yeah, I mean, very potentially, as you said, with how close it comes, with the fact that Artfrost is the only one standing. The reinvestment's going to cost the Spirit Academy everything. But I do think pistols and body armor might be the way to go, because they have 2,900 loss bonus. They're still going to be able to then buy into the following round. They could have kept the damage on, but no, they want to go fully for it. It's Galils, it's AKs, it's not bad. And considering the performance they just gave us on Vertigo, it makes sense that they're willing to put in this risk, that they have the confidence in themselves. If it backfires, though, Spirit Academy will get a really good opportunity to start building up the CT side early on.
Big swing early on in proceedings. A lot of momentum shifting. As you said, a golden opportunity for the Spirit Academy. Take some of the pressure away. Banish some of the nightmares of Vertigo. Definitely looking rejuvenated so far here on Inferno. Seen some of those individuals starting to come to play. Artfrost on the pistol, especially looking very solid. Can they continue it is the question. Artfrost does have his favoured AWP out towards A long on a good angle. Fortunately, going to have his vision blocked by MUTiRiS, and the timing a little bit nasty for him as they work their way into the bracket. HE is good. Huge damage found, and a heavy-handed rotation called in from the CT side as well. UJerks just playing for the info, but it looks like they still want this A-site commit, and it is going to be into the stack, or is it? A second round of smokes goes through, a little bit of spam to keep them honest, but all the while, SAW are calling the bluff. They're doubling back. It is just going to be MUTiRiS. They've got to speed this up now. Sotfik knows that this is coming. He knows exactly what's about to happen. Tucks himself in behind the new boxes. Has to play for time. Has to play for space. One flash on Artfrost to potentially get him out, and he finds his kill. Donks Molly grabs another, and this is falling apart for SAW. ArasDos again asked to clutch, this time in a 1v3, and the bomb out in no man's land. It's another round that goes the way of Spirit, and like you said, Dean, these repetitive force buys are going to start doing some serious damage to the economy of SAW.
Yeah, especially now that Spirit Academy actually got a slightly cleaner round themselves, keeping 3 standing. This time it is definitely just pistols and Kevlar, I'd imagine, as I'd hoped they'd kind of go for in that previous round. And perhaps a quicker play, so just straight up and into a bomb site, because playing it out slower there in the last couple of rounds, they've been going for a lot of individual plays and getting picked off. I think perhaps slightly underestimating Spirit Academy at this point, after how easy, I suppose, Vertigo did go for them.
Definitely feels that way a little bit, doesn't it? Just seeing those individuals from the
Like,
Spirit Academy start to get online now.
like it's SAW. How often does SAW go for the 2 force buys in a row? You would not normally see them do that.
Yeah. Taking the pause as well here, just to reset mentally. Give themselves an opportunity to think through how they want to play out this first half. As you said, heavily T-sided. Not something you normally see on Inferno. Admittedly, only 7 maps played in the last 3 months, so that can tend to skew the statistics ever so slightly. The half by here, Tex again, P250. And an early pick for Artfoss. Roman jumping across, but still plucked out of the sky, and that's a lovely opening to find. Thinning the numbers early against this half by.
I mean, they do at least get the banana control now for themselves, but I'm not sure how much of a help it's going to be. Somewhat limited utility, a couple of smokes and flashes. They're just going straight into B. Okay, got completely blinded up. Is in the crossfire. It isn't teammate from second oranges, but they're only able to get the 1 kill. Those flashes were perfect, allowing those Tech-9s to close in the distance as MUTiRiS adds a little bit more with the AK before taking a leg shot from the op and just about hanging on to life for now. If he went down, they would instantly be going for a 2-on-2 retake, but I think right now they might be considering perhaps saving, waiting, hoping someone's going to show themselves that they can maybe force a play to come in. But if they don't get an entrance soon, then this is going to be a tough retake. And unfortunately, as MUTiRiS gets another kill, I don't think they have much of an option at all. Save that up, get that into the next round. Artfrost still yet to die. It should remain like that for the moment.
Nice find from SAW. That, again, just using the utility well, right? You saw it. The flashes consistently keeping the player on site blinded. As you said, the crossfire was there. They were ready for that exact situation. Artfrost picks one more off towards the death, but with the flashes over the top, no vision available. Just not able to hold their crossfire. The Tech-9's overwhelmed the site, and it's SAW with a bit of a miracle round, and it's a pretty impressive, significant one as well, because Spirit Academy, you know, we talked about how those first initial back and forth force fires, the economy was not great for them. And you're starting to see the consequences here. Despite a couple of rounds keeping 3 players alive, 1 round, 1 half by going against them, and suddenly they're down onto the pistols. Artfrost, of course, saving that AWP, but other than that, a menagerie of upgraded pistols. As Artfrost looks to try and get that ult to go to work early on. Flashed off his first angle of choice. Story very nearly lands the shot as well. And that will be banana control conceded for now.
This could be rough. Still a lot of time for SAW to work with, so they don't have to force this in towards B at all, especially with Arrows still actually pressuring around A over there, throwing some smokes down, probing about on mid and seeing that there's really not much going on. That should give them an indication that it definitely could be a bit of a stack towards B.
They're thinking about it. They're thinking about chancing their arm here. I think because the AWP's here, maybe presuming that this one isn't the stack site, and there is a lot of bodies here ready and waiting. Artfrost finds one. Still alive towards backside with that AWP, still with support. He needs to land the shot and just can't quite catch Roman in transition. That could have got dangerous. You could see it. Story down on 3. MUTiRiS half HP. The shot's just not quite landing, however. And for Baz, last man up. Exits would be great. I mean, that run and gun Tech-9 is certainly capable of dealing with Story on just 3 points of health. He's going to have to get out of there sharpish. And yeah, just hoping maybe there's something to be found. MUTiRiS backs his teammate up, though. It's a second round on the board for SAW, and it's a little bit of a resurgence on that T side. It's not going to get easier, though. Force buy should be coming through now. There's decent economy for most of the Spirit Academy players.
Yeah, I mean, there's an MP9 in there, but it's Inferno. It's a weapon you can make work plenty of close range positions. bit of utility as well behind it. Importantly, they do have a kit also towards Dunk, so it's an okay buy, but it's also a very crucial swing round where if they lose this, SAW start to get a lead going, and then they start building towards that T side that we're expecting of them, considering it is the stronger of the two halves for them. So ideally, Spirit Academy would like to get back into their winning ways here and build up as many CT rounds as possible. For now, though, SAW in again a fairly standard default. Didn't get challenged much around Banana. Already have a few players pressuring in on mid with the smoke on long, just ensuring that Spirit Academy don't have a lot of info about what's going on. And because of that, they've actually risked 3 players over towards B, which doesn't look like the correct call.
It's a bit of a gamble. You see it on Inferno. When these teams don't quite have enough understanding of what's going on, they're forced to change things up. They are going for the play, though. They're pushing through Banana, taking that control. U-Jerk's now tagged down desperately low. Should be a freebie, and indeed he is through the wall. That's going to have to increase the pace here from SAW, or is it? They're thinking about doubling back. They're thinking about catching the rotation. They're a man down, though, and this starts to get a little dangerous. Sotfik spotted. Picks the smart decision, nails it. Flies up Banana. Roman is desperate to try and hunt down at least a trade, and he does find it. That will drag the rotations back, but Baz, in the meanwhile, has dealt with the apartments play. And this one is starting to splinter. It's starting to crack for SAW.MUTiRiS. Spotted out on short. The rotation's still a little way away, but that bomb is going through the apps. And that still needs to be cleared with 25 seconds on the clock. Baz is in a perfect position. The crossfire with the site player in Zontix. This is going to be a very tough one for SAW to break as they look to swarm on in. There's the freebie. There's the double up. And for the AWPer, there's nothing he can do. That is much more like it from the Spirit Academy.
Yeah, that is not the type of round we were seeing at all from them on Vertigo. They weren't able to lock down any of these rounds and completely shut it out at any point. They were always kind of just scraping one by. So it is good to see that they're finding definitely better form here on Inferno. The buy still in play for SAW. They built up a little bit of economy throughout those couple of rounds. If they're up, AK is everything they could ask for, really. They need to win out this one, otherwise they're looking at an Eco. Spirit Academy would have a chance to go up 6-2, and at that point I'd start believing that maybe we could still be seeing that 3-map series, even if it is still relatively early days. Going crazy from Spirit Academy. 3 towards B early on, just to put that bit of presence with utility. Didn't actually show the 3 of them or try and take a peek or anything, but just in case the quicker push came in from SAW as a change of pace. They are rotating Zontix back over, though.
I like the call. They can trust Artfrost. 10-1 at the moment. He's been flying on the AWP. Allow him to play a very proactive angle on long. Still peeking in now. Backing up his supporting player in Baz, and that allows for this 3-man stack to come into play over towards the B site. Missed shot from Story, and there's a lot of bodies here and waiting. Sotfik over top of the smoke has found one. Artfrost has picked off the lurk, and this is falling apart. 3 men left. How do you even try and get back into this round is the question. They've left Story posted for any re-aggression, but with nothing coming through, I think they're going to have to call the save at this point. A 5th on the board for the Spirit Academy, and it's just the individuals. They're just winning their 1v1s in a way we didn't really see on map 1. SAW not quite leveraging that utility in the same manner, not quite breaking open the fights as they need to. A 5th round on the board, a 3-man save called, and this is looking much more like it from the Academy side.
Yeah, this is nuts. I mean, I thought SAW were going to fare pretty well here. They had a win over Astralis only like less than 2 weeks ago, like 12 days ago or something. So 16-8 over Astralis, and at the moment they're struggling to really get on their feet here in the early stages. Forced to save a few weapons at the very least, and U-Jerks, he actually has some money already, so they might be able to work out this buy. He's only got 3650. He had a bit more. I mean, it's a rough one. Do you want to force around these weapons or not? You get 2900 loss bonus, so even with the bomb plant, most of the other players would only be just about scraping out their buys, so they do just want to get out that Tech 9 and do what they can here with the saved weaponry. It does make sense, but it's also, again, risky. They're throwing all their eggs into the one basket, rather.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about that Astralis victory. That was a 12-round T side for SAW. It's a common theme over most of their victories. 11 rounds when they beat Eyeballers. Sangal the one exception. So this is going to be ringing some alarm bells for SAW. I think especially with the individuals from the Spirit Academy starting to come online, starting to get warm, starting to see what they're capable of, and that T side will lend itself to these individuals. In need of a little bit of a fight back here. 3 save rifles form the backbone of it. As you said, it's not the greatest of forces. Your hands are tied, though. With 3 players not getting any cash from the round previous, you're going to have to invest to get on their level. And oh my goodness, the nade damage is huge. SAW.MUTiRiS taking full advantage. U-Jerks an attempted boost to try and get him over the top of the smoke, but it's been read like a book. Once again, the man advantage in these opening moments goes the way of the Spirit Academy. Complete opposite of Vertigo, and again, SAW are forced to try and think on their feet.
Yeah, fighting off the back foot, not something they really had to do on map 1. Already in a very difficult 4-on-5 here with the damage done onto MUTiRiS. He's an easy spam through the smoke. There might be a follow-up as well. Roman already tagged heavily. If he comes through the smoke, Zontix is ready for it. Artfrost added another kill to his tally in the meantime as he heads up towards 12. 7 kills, I think, now on the top, and obviously the pistol ace he got earlier. So he really is popping off, and on the other hand, everyone on SAW seems to be pretty much asleep right now.
Yeah, just looking very blunt. Getting caught off guard on timings, losing their fights. Story thinking about saving this AWP. It's going to be put under pressure, though. Should see Spirit Academy taking this one away. He's going to get at least a kill. Second on the flying peak, but surely he doesn't expect the man coming in from spawn now. Drops down, free backstab for SAW.MUTiRiS. 6-2 the scoreline. Half buy to follow for SAW. This is starting to go very badly wrong for them.
Gotta be worried if you're a SAW fan right now. This has been a massive drop-off from map 1. They're like, you know what? We'll destroy each other on our map choices. Why not? As pistols and Kevlar, at least they're afforded. A few nades, nothing really special. SAW are finally aiming towards getting as strong of a buy as they can in this next round. But it's going to be 7-2 already for Spirit Academy, which means at most SAW aiming towards 8, which is, I mean, it's still a good T-side, but considering how T-sided they are, I think 9 or 10 would have been their early goal.
At least. This one feels like it's a goner again. Roman, yes, he gets 1 kill, but immediately the trade is there, and well, this CT side is just perfectly placed to deal with everything that's thrown at them. Aras, whilst he gets out the apps, the bomb is down in mid, and they know there's somebody lurking around. Artfrost will put his man down. A 5-round lead, and this needs a very rapid turnaround. You know, normally, as you said, this isn't so bad on Inferno. You could see a way back on Inferno, but SAW, we can't emphasize this enough, hugely T-sided in their victories. Hugely T-sided in their victories. So to be going down in this kind of manner is very concerning.
I mean, in fairness, I do still think SAW are a much more well-coordinated team in general. They're just struggling to get past this UP and some of the individuals that are waking up. But the UP won't have the same presence on the T side. Will he be able to keep that up with a rifle? Will he be able to have still some solid rounds on the UP? And will his teammates step up and take a little bit of that weight as well as the question? So I do think maybe 6 or 7 could be enough for SAW. But with how they've been playing so far, that could still be a pretty big challenge to reach.
Getting red as well at the moment. You're seeing it with the banana play. They're going to work into the banana control through Donk and Artfrost. So SAW once again going to be put on a timer here. It has to be fast. Out into the A site they fall, looking to take the mini pit control. They know there's a man in pit, but the damage done on this crossfire is huge, and Baz takes full advantage, doubles up his account. Finally, they find a couple of picks on SAW, and it buys them a 3-on-3. U-Jerks down low. Some decisions to be made now for the CT side. There is 1 smoke left. That has gone out now. That locks out long for another 10-15 seconds. The HE won't quite find its mark, and Story will get the better of his opposition AWPer at long last. Artfrost goes down, and that may well be enough to concede the save on the CT side of things indeed. As Donk looks to hide away in towards the B site, SAW.MUTiRiS just playing for exits, just seeing if there's a little bit more he can drag out of this one, but the fast B pop After some initial issues, just about manages to land a third round in the bag for SAW, but every round they are getting on this T side is scrappy. It's nowhere near the kind of coordination we saw from them on Vertigo. It's looking very, very rough as those individuals, as you said, it's Baz inside of the pit, just constantly throwing spanners in the works of their executes.
Sorry. Had something in my throat or something. I don't know. Weird coughing fit. Hopefully SAW aren't going to be choking like I was. Because that is the first of a few rounds that they need in a row to really get anything going here on this D side. Frost, 14-3. What a game he's been having, and doesn't want to calm down. Nearly found that shot while blinded. Coming down to the timing. Importantly, though, still escapes. Puts a little bit of pressure on SAW. Make sure they're working for this bit of ground that they want to cover. Same to be said over towards Banana, where the utility is slowing them down and getting control.
Not often that you see a CT side winning the utility battle, but that's the state of SAW's economy. Plenty of nades available for these CTs, managing to isolate some fights. Unfortunate not to have a couple of picks already. They are starting to run low now. Just a handful of smokes remaining as SAW have managed to survive the opening 45 seconds without taking any casualties. And they can start to enact their plans on this round. It's once more a heavy stack over towards this B site. 3 players presence, including the AWP. As it's Baz and ZonTiRiS, the 2-man hold out on A. With 45 seconds left, SAW don't necessarily look committed to this yet. The bomb is here, but 2 players still lurking out towards Banana. Still options available, and SAW really have no information on what's happening here. Up on the angle will be flashed off. They now at least know where Artfrost is placed, and I think that's going to be enough for them to reconsider and for them to change the plan and go full into this A-site crossfire. Baz and ZonTiRiS once again with a lot to do. Playing an off angle in towards the grave. Artfrost has dealt with the lurk beautifully, and this one once again falls apart in the hands of the crossfire. They can't do anything about Baz. He's sat there consistently finding damage, and as the trade comes through, it's another masterstroke from the Spirit Academy. That's a 2-on-4 hold of the A site, and they have orchestrated it to perfection.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they all swapped names, and SAW actually Spirit or something with how coordinated they're playing in comparison. It's SAW that looked completely lost and just weren't expecting this. I mean, fair enough, they don't have the most reps on Inferno. I think they've only played it like maybe a little bit less than 10 times over the past 3 months. I'm not looking at their stats right now, but somewhere around there. But they have good wins. As we said most recently, 16-8 versus Astralis. Right now, they are just not getting going at all. Individual rounds as they get broken time and time again and get just relegated down to these weaker buys. It is not a fun place to be in. Because again, they just are forced to wait out the utility from the CT side early on.
Seem to have found their kryptonite in CIS youngsters. Donk swings wide for an early peek, gets 2 before he's traded, and once again, that's a good opening return from the CT side. Smoke goes down and through it. ZonTiRiS on the timing finds another huge pick to leave Roman and MUTiRiS picking up the pieces. A Molotov goes down. That stops their entry. Roman has managed to thread the needle just a little bit, but the timing's not good for him. ZonTiRiS spots it. Calls his AWP back to clear his corners. There's the freebie and MUTiRiS. I mean, what do you do at this point? 50 seconds. You've only got Galil to work with. You know there's an AWP here, and Artfrost, even as he looks to come off the angle, more than happy to flick back on it for a 9th round. Another half by to follow. SAW honestly in tatters on this T side. Just seems like the kryptonite to their style of play is these individuals, right? 17-3 for Artfrost inside of 12 rounds. He is single-handedly picking them apart.
Yeah, I mean, this is surprising. I was looking at Artfrost as definitely one of their stronger players. We were unsure. I mean, I think it's Donk, Artfrost, and ZonTiRiS who all have really strong stats. But again, we were mentioning that it is mostly against those lower level teams. So it can be hard to gauge how they're going to perform when they come up against the likes of SAW, who more stable roster, who don't necessarily always rely on that firepower and can beat you down in other ways. But that's not coming together for them right now. and it's allowing Artfrost to have free reign with this op. 17-3. Everyone else, they're doing okay, but they're mostly just chilling. They haven't been needed as much. So we're getting back into it. 9-3. SAW need at least 2 of these final 3 rounds to have a position that they can recover from in that second half, and even then, it's going to be an uphill battle for sure.
And this one's only a half buy. Spirit Academy, by and large, have been dealing with handily. MUTiRiS tagged up in the opening seconds. Again, look at this re-aggression. Spirit Academy, as soon as a portion of map is vacated, they're back here. Aristos has managed to find a pick, though, and this is an isolated fight inside of the A site now. Baz, in the pit, does very well to land an early headshot, and he's still here and kicking, drops his smoke, buys himself just a little bit of space. The Molotov won't quite land right, and Baz able to take full advantage for a second. That's bombed down as he finds 3. He is tearing it apart, buying so much time for his rotations. And that one early pick onto the AWPer is all they get. It was a one-man hold inside of the A site, and Baz has done it again, stepping up and finding a huge round for his team.
Yeah, I mean, this is just nuts. I could not have predicted this this performance right now after Vertigo ended. Again, very possible SAW could come back to life, but now or never, really. Exchange of grenades again around Banana. They're not going crazy. They haven't bothered with the 3-man stack around Banana too much anymore either in the early stages, because they've been able to hold it off with the 2 of them usually, with just a few nades. They have SAW intimidated, which is very surprising.
Just seems like all their form has abandoned them, rather.
MUTiRiS having a rough game as well in comparison to the performance he put in on Vertigo. It's certainly not helping.
Question is, what's the call to change the picture? Because again, look at the control this CT side have got. Heavy banana take. UJerks not quite able to land his headshot. Now going to be put under pressure with 2 angles still being held. An AWP and a rifle posted top B. He's going to be flashed around this corner. Needs an early kill. Molotovs all over the shop to try and isolate these fights. But Donk, again, has dealt with the B lurk brilliantly. MUTiRiS and a Roman doing what they can to recover the situation. A couple more big picks. But once more, it's Baz. He's been an absolute hero inside of this A site. He's got an early kill already. Knows to pivot. Knows exactly where the head is going to be. And it's Baz with a triple lockdown inside of the A site. Make it more. Why not? That is disgusting from the CT AWPer.
Where the hell was all of this on Vertigo? I just don't understand. They seem like a completely different team. I don't even remember any of Baz's kills on Vertigo. It seemed like he never really came alive, and now he's just popping off out of nowhere. 15-6. He wants to put himself ahead of Artfrost even. He's got a little bit of work to do to catch up still, but having 2 players in the driver's seat like this for Spirit Academy individually, with no one really coming to life on SAW, it's just destruction. Good nade. That should do some decent damage. Does indeed on towards Dunk and Sotfik. Unfortunately, 3 kills have come in the meantime, so does it matter? No. Sotfik even burned one alive at the bottom of Banana as he took that kill around the half wall. A little bit more damage on the MUTiRiS as he starts to burn as well. So Story's the only healthy player left standing.
Yeah, they tried for the B play.
Gonna happen.
Tried for the B play. Demolished on entry, and at this point just being picked off through the smokes. It's only a matter of time. MUTiRiS 34 health left. A disastrous T side coming through from SAW. We thought Vertigo was bad. This is looking worse. Such a T side leaning team, and they've done absolutely nothing. 12-3. Spirit Academy firmly in the driving seat as we head to the break.
speak up, don't speak for a couple of weeks. I'll be in his place till he calls and says he's sorry. This situation's on repeat, just like a scratch on a CD. It just gets deeper when you hit rewind. How many nights will you make this decision? Nights ending tears and it's blurring your vision. You know he don't love you, hurt you holding on to. Scream through the phone even though he won't listen. So I'm still at your place, trying to make it okay. He's miles away, I'm left here with you. Say that you just need someone caring for you. When will you see me more than your rescue? I'm feeling kinda used, yeah, like a drug that you take when you're sick of crying all your tears away. Is that all I am? All I want is for you to be happy. You know this ain't healthy. Do I?
Well, we didn't see that coming. Spirit woke up and chose violence. A 12-3 lead as they head to the T side of Inferno. And a pistol that becomes absolutely essential if SAW have ambitions of closing this in 2. Early util. A little bit piecemeal. SAW want to stay close on this angle top B. They want to take this fight, and it's to their detriment almost immediately. Artfrost finds a headshot, doubles it as well. The flash ineffective at the point for SAW, and now Roman doing all he can, has managed to tap one out through the smoke, taking a dink in the meanwhile. MUTiRiS through the smoke grabs a second. SAW trying to buy themselves a lifeline here. It's going to have to be the retake, though, and with no kit, this is going to have to be very swift. And look at Spirit. Look at how they're playing this. The fading smoke will lead their charge. 2 quick headshots leaves Arasdos. How many times has he been in this situation? Stuck out in no man's land. He finds one. No kit is the real issue here, and they can just hide away. They know it, Spirit. They tuck tail, they run. They play the angles, play the time, and surely this one is a done deal. A second kill, but it's going to be a consolation. Arasdos having a charge around now, desperate to find this final kill. It's not to be. Sotfik plays it beautifully, and as much as he goes down, it's 13. They will not care, Spirit.
Yeah, and I mean, if we get towards Nuke, that's where it really could get exciting here as well, because Spirit Academy's got a lot of reps on it, and they've got some really solid wins as well, although their last couple of games haven't been quite as strong. Lost to Mouse Next and Copenhagen Flames. Before that, though, had been on a really solid streak. And it's certainly a map that SAW are capable of playing as well. Although they lost 16-4 to Astralis in their most recent game. So, I mean, it could be a wild map number 3. We'll have to see when we get there. There's a lot of caveats. Sure, they're usually good, but they've got both have some recent losses. Sorry, wanting to get very aggressive, desperately needing something to kick things off. Unfortunately, just loses his head to Artfrost. He's just as good on the rifle.
Yeah, this one is feeling very tough. UJUX does well on the jump peak to deal with Sotfik and at least buy a kill in return. Roman desperate for that rifle as well, but he's not going to be given it. Arasdos, meanwhile, has salvaged the scout up towards top of mid, but the timing, once again, just not quite there for them. Rifle's looking to take full advantage. Donk does. It's a nice trade for 1 from Arasdos, but now he's under pressure. Sole defender of this A site. Timings, once again, could be absolutely everything here. He needs a fast kill. He needs a fast rotation. FAMAS at least has made its way to the library, but with the smoke now coming out, it's all on to Arasdos inside of this site, and his scout reigns supreme. It has been a heavy-handed rotation. The Spirit Academy have the option to double back. And 2-on-3, they can still take this over towards B, although they're wasting a lot of time, and that's allowing for SAW to put both the CZ and the FAMAS in place to receive this.
I mean, still not going to be easy though. Artfrost still standing. He's now alone though, and charging through the smoke. UJUX catches his side there as he's distracted by the Coffins player. So, yeah, 13-4, a lifeline for SAW. They've come alive? Is it too late, though, is the question, because they are going to need a damn near flawless CT side here. And this is not usually the stronger of their two sides, as we pointed out before on Inferno.
Yeah, that's going to be their problem here. They have not left themselves a buffer. They have left no room for error.
I mean, again, I think it comes back to early on the economy management. They put themselves in a weird position. They don't normally go for so many force buys. And then when they just got nothing from any of them, it seemed to have demoralized them a bit. And then they were playing so timid for the rest of the half.
Yeah. Some big questions to be answered, certainly. This time, a little bit of an easier ride. The initial nades down doing huge damage, and Roman spam on the FAMAS, able to connect into an initial kill on this force buy. It is just the Deagles and Techs. A limited amount of utility. They've just about got enough smokes to plan and execute here, but no flashes to cut these rifles off the angles, and with control over towards B already lost, becomes increasingly difficult to get anything going, or does it? Artfrost predicts the jump peak, lands his shot. Roman, however, won't let that be in vain. 2 quick kills will surely gut this round of any possibility, and XONTIX just left looking for exits, a kill to maybe dent the economy a little more on the SAW side of things, but it's going to be a 5th round on their way.
Nice work by Story. Bit of damage, but Eagle came out on top. They keep 4 standing, only losing U-Jerks. Ideally, though, we want U-Jerks to find some form again, though, as he is one of the players we look towards for frags. Alongside Story, who hopefully can come alive as well. Now that he's on the CT side as well. They have a chance to get the op going at some point, but they do need to win enough rounds to make sure that happens, ideally, without losing a lot against these weaker pistols as well. It's only Glocks for now, I believe. 1 Deagle. Byron Frost is invested into. Makes sense. He's been having such a great game. May as well get a pistol in there to see if he can collect a few headshots and do some damage.
Yeah, this should be the round to farm up. Story playing close in towards Boiler. Should be in a decent position to cut this one out. And comes in, multiple bodies there. It will only be the 1-for-1, and this still has the potential to get a little bit dangerous, as we said, but MUTiRiS trying to make sure no old demons are resurrected here. Finds a couple of very quick headshots, and with that MP9 going down 1-for-1, it does raise the question of that AWP. Like you said, 4750 might just about be able to bring it out as the rifles come out for the Spirit Academy. Donk, though, has caught himself a timing, and he's managed to double it. Luckily for SAW, there's a 3rd man under the porch, but that could have gone oh so desperately wrong, and it's huge economic damage as well. A couple of 1-deags out of that pistol. And it leaves some big questions to be asked. It will be a heavy-handed reinvestment from SAW. Story will be able to get that big green gun dropped across to him. And this is the first of a very great many swing rounds needed for SAW if they are to pose a realistic comeback threat here on Inferno.
Yeah, it's doable, though. I mean, in most cases, I would say the CT side is probably where you'd want to make the comeback happen. Considering the T side is so bad, maybe they're just great at CT today on Inferno, who knows. U-Jerks burning in the background, I think, as Roman pushes down Banana. A little bit unfortunate, but they do at least get that control. We didn't see a lot of this from Spirit Academy. It wasn't necessary. The nades were usually keeping them at bay, and even when the hit was coming into the bomb site, they were just so good at locking it down.
It is bleeding a lot of util out of this CT side, though. You can see MUTiRiS rotating around to give a few more nades potentially, but they are going to have to bail out of that control. With 1 minute and 10 on the clock, so still plenty of time for the retake should Spirit Academy want to give it a go. And it's a heavy-handed stack over towards this B site from SAW with no utility to stall out a B play should it come through. Roman is completely out on an island, so they can't afford to leave him there for too long. Have to double back, and they're actually going to go heavy. MUTiRiS will make the rotation. Still no utility. It's going to be guns blazing or die trying over towards B if they even get the chance, because for now, Spirit Academy have doubled back. They've worked their way into this A site, and it is just 2 men standing, Story and Arazdos, who will have to pull off the heroics here. Smokes go out. Counter molly should be good, but a missed shot. And now the punishment surely starts to come through. They wrap on into the site, and it's 2 quick kills. The AWPer out in no man's land, not left a chance in hell. 3 lightning quick headshots. The round is a goner. It's 14 on the board for the Spirit Academy, and surely that begs to bring Nuke into the question.
I mean, they just get rolled over as soon as the guns come out. Just wondering if this is the sort of Spirit Academy that we can expect to normally see, or is it somewhere of more of a middle ground between these last two maps? So I'm super impressed by Artfrost, but I doubt this is a pace he can keep up on every map. We've seen Baz have his moments. Donk looked pretty good on Vertigo and has had a few moments here as well. Sotfik, we know he's a capable player, so I mean, to me, this lineup looks to show a lot of promise. As potentially the last full gun round now is going to be coming in for SAW, and even then it's got some weaknesses potentially to it. They had to drop the weapons around to just about get what they need, and even then there's one FAMAS in there, I believe. It's not too big of a deal, but again, this is their last opportunity to lose this. They have a lot less to try and fight for the overtime.
Do or die time. SAW's diminishing CT side. How much can they get done? How much resistance can they put up? Because, you know, as much as we're talking about Artfrost and how much impact he can have, CT Nuke with an AWP, huge potential. If he can have that kind of impact, CT Inferno, there's no reason it can't be the same. And that will start to send shivers into the bones of SAW. These are the kind of rounds, even if you're not going to plot that comeback, even if you are going to go to that third map, these are the rounds that build confidence. Reel it in a little bit. Show Spirit Academy you are not just going to lie down. And this is not just going to be a smooth ride through to the finish. As they group over towards B, just leaving Baz on the lurk again. And once more, it looks like the right call because there's just 2 players inside of this B site. MUTiRiS is making the rotation, but once more, SAW find themselves out of util. And with Baz picking off Arazdos in his bedroom aggression, that's going to drag the rotation back just in time for the full-blooded execute to head straight into this site. There is a smoke, a little bit of something for Roman to play around, but he's lost all his support. Gets one, has to fade back through the CT smoke, gets a little bit of damage. Wants to recover a fallen rifle, but that leaves him oh so vulnerable. Doesn't realize the smoke has already gone. Donk gets his gift. It's 15. The save is called to try and give some kind of bite to the final round, what will surely be the final round on this second map. But the Spirit Academy, they keep on marching. They are flying right now.
Yeah, this is nuts. We're going to be moving on to Nuke pretty soon. And I mean, I want to say Spirit Academy should be looking like the favourites, but we've seen how much SAW dropped off between maps, so anything is possible. Perhaps they'll find some of that form again. It's an interesting story. Save 2 weapons forward. They don't have the loss bonus to drop over to the rest of them, so pistols and Kevlar most likely, maybe an MP9 or 2. It's a very rough position to be in.
Not the buy that you want to be protecting map point on your map pick with, is it? It's an ugly one. They take the time out. Hoping maybe just to slow the avalanche. As you said, it's just, you know, any resistance at this point. The amount of confidence this should give the Spirit Academy heading into that third and decisive map of Nuke, a map that up until recently they have been using as a consistent first pick. So a map they should be feeling all the confidence in the world that they can get over the line. And to get there, we've got an AWP, an M4 saved, 2 MP9s and a Deagle protecting it. SAW really have fallen by the wayside and they need something. They need some kind of pick-me-up to give them that bit of faith headed into the decisive map that they can pull it back. Early run boost for Story just to gather information. Nothing seen, nothing gained. And again, an early pick. Artfrost getting the better of his AWPing opposition once more. 23-8. Electric from the T side. Orpa as now the pressure continues to mount. The bracket control is taken, and this awful, awkward buy goes from bad to worse. The limited utility that the CTs have had has been bled out by that opening pick and aggression. And now with just a handful of nades, they've got to defend against what can quite happily be a full-blooded execute. Bracket control is being taken. At the very least, SAW have stacked it correctly. At the very least, they've got all their eggs in the right basket for now. Can they find anything at all? MUTiRiS on the pre-fire. Thins the numbers ever further. MUTiRiS trying to be the blocker, trying to do everything he can to turn this one. But it's still a 3-on-4, and still this A site looks to be punished. Sotfik will be tested out long. MUTiRiS with another big kill, and suddenly we are back even. The scales have righted, but they've left their Orpa so damn isolated. They try and rotate to B. Instead, it hangs Arasdos out to dry, and that's a free A site. The utility goes down. This time the retake will have to be attempted for SAW, but how can they break in? The afterplants are established. The positions are good. The smokes will even allow the AWP to retreat to the relative safety of short, and with a player in apps, a player in the mini pit, I mean, the apps player's even got the safety to drop out, drop a nade, chip away even further at this CT side. Missed timing, but Artfrost is there. He's so willing to swing back in. He ends 25-8. It's Spirit dominating on their opposition's map pick of Inferno. We've flipped the script completely and utterly here. SAW dominate Vertigo. Team Spirit Academy dominate Inferno. And Nuke is left to separate these two rosters. This game, I can't even begin to predict where that fight.